out to our economic forecast luncheon. I'm Brandon Hanson, president of Bank of Utah. We're really thrilled to have you here with us today. Bank of Utah is excited to be partnering with the Ogden-Weber Chamber of Commerce and Weber State University's Goddard School of Business to bring you this event. Our hopes are to provide you an opportunity to network and learn more about the latest trends and developments in our economy. Today, you'll have an opportunity to hear from 3 well-respected speakers. Their full bios are in the digital program, and I'm confident that the insights you gain from this will be valuable and meaningful. At this point, I'd like to introduce Doris Gaida Stevenson, the interim dean of the business school at Weber State University.
Hi, welcome. It is my pleasure to introduce the first speaker, and that is Dr. Randy Boyle. He's a distinguished professor of Management Information Systems at the Goddard School of Business and Economics. Dr. Boyle has an extensive publication record in academic journals, but notably, he's also the author of multiple textbooks in his field of Management Information Systems. His most popular textbook, Using MIS, is currently in its 12th edition, with a 13th edition coming out this year. The textbook has been adopted by over 700 universities. This is an evidence of impact that the Goddard faculty have really nationwide. And Dr. Boyle has used his connections and extensive knowledge within the area of MIS to connect our students to prestigious graduate programs. Since joining Weber State, he has helped 39 students to get admitted to Carnegie Mellon University, where most of our students receive a scholarship to a number one ranked program. In 2020, Dr. Boyle was awarded the prestigious and competitive U.S. Fulbright Scholarship to Poland, where he taught classes at the University of Warsaw, helped organize an academic conference, and worked with undergraduate students on research. Dr. Boyle's recent professional presentations on ChatGPT as the new frontier in higher education, as well as AI and automation after COVID, reached a wide national audience of educators. Closer to home, in the local media, he's known for his commentary on cybersecurity. Please welcome Dr. Boyle. After his presentation, he won't mind if you ask him how often he changes his password.
Thank you. Thank you, Doris. That was very kind of you. It sounds good when it's all said at one time. If some of you know the Boyle name, I actually grew up here in Ogden. The Boyle family owns Boyle Appliances downtown, so I actually grew up here. So I'm glad to live in Utah again. I've lived all over. Let me show you, make sure I click through slides. There we go. Oh, I'll go back. These are just some of the books and information about me. Mostly, I did my doctoral dissertation on lying, on deception. It was right after, near 9/11, and we were supposed to create information systems that could tell when people were lying. And it's been most useful now that I have kids. It's awesome. They do not like me as a parent as much. Come on, clicker. Please, clicker. Oh, there we go. This was a video from the Prime Minister of England and Elon Musk. Video isn't going to play because we imported weird, but the Prime Minister asks Elon Musk, he says, what's going to be the impact of AI on jobs? It's really, really important. And it's just forward and backwards. Awesome. This is even better. There's only 2 buttons on this one. This is great. Perfect for me. And Musk says, well, you can have a job if you want to. And the Prime Minister looks at him and says, you can have a job if you want to? He goes, yeah, most people will be on UBI. And how many people know what UBI is? Okay, that's the phrase you're going to look up today. UBI, Universal Basic Income. It's like welfare, but with a classy name. And if you go look up this video and watch the entire video, as Musk says, AI is going to replace not a few jobs, but a lot of jobs. And many of the jobs that we've had in the past are going to go away, and some new jobs will be created. In fact, the highest paid jobs today didn't exist 10 years ago. The highest jobs 10 years from now, the highest paid jobs, probably don't currently exist. So this is a great video to watch. Here we go. I do this demo when people say, yeah, but most people want to see the cool tricks that AI can do, the new implementation, which is important. It's good to showcase what AI can do. But more important than that is to understand the fundamental principles that push AI. When you understand the principles pushing AI, then you can use it to predict the future. It's predicting the future that has the value, not seeing what currently AI can do, right? What gives a stock its value? It's its future earnings, right? What's going to happen to the stock in the future, not the that gets built into the price right now. So it took me 30 seconds to make this. I use ChatGPT and AI Studios, and you can pick the person. You can pick the gender, you can pick the race, you can pick the hair color, you can pick everything. And it's fully automated. And I just said, hey, I said, ChatGPT, give me a presentation about how AI is going to affect the economy. It made the whole presentation for me. It was awesome. And it was free. It took 30 seconds. And when I clicked the button, she'll speak, and it made all the slides and did everything. I was like, yay, I'm going to retire or be put out of work, one of the two. But it was free. This is what a lot of people don't understand is you're going to have a lot of free things come about.
AI and automation are transforming the way businesses operate. These technologies can streamline processes, boost productivity, and reduce costs. AI and automation.
She's not even real. She doesn't even exist. What do you think all the Hollywood strikes were about? It was about AI. Remember when the Hollywood actors said we're going on strike? Their main issue was they knew their jobs were going to go away. In fact, a lot of movies now, they just superimpose the face over it. Voice actors, scripts. You'll see one here in just a minute. This is one of the demos I do. I'll show you in the next slide. I do it in class, but look at these are just a small number of articles I pulled out within the last couple months. IBM stopping hiring 8,000 people because these jobs can be done by an AI. And these aren't idiot jobs at IBM. These are really high-end jobs. The most important one is on the top right. BuzzFeed laid off, I think it was 30 or 40% of their staff. You know what happened to their stock price? One day, 200%. 200% in one day is a big number, not a little number. 200% in one day is a big number. And that big number was not lost on other people. A 200% return in one day because you adopted AI and cut your costs. That's a huge return. Every executive just went. They just started clapping going, I'm next. It's me. How many employees does Jeff Bezos want? One. He wants one employee. Currently, by 2030, he'll have more robot employees than human employees. He currently has 700,000 robots pushing packages to your doorstep. Right? The percent gains, the bonuses for executive leadership are enormous. This is why we're going to experience massive job. And just read the headlines. Just pay attention every day. Massive job losses, layoffs, and there's more and more coming. Look at that. Walmart, the largest private employer in the world. They're making a huge push. And the video I show in when I do presentations, it's my son. And I've got him in the shopping cart, and we're at the Centerville Walmart, and it's 9 a.m. and we're looking down an aisle. And you know what? And I said, son, look at that robot. He says, Dad, that's amazing. You know what the robot's doing? Inventory. It inventories the store, the whole store twice a day. They figure out what's not there. They should. And inventory is a horrible job. Who's done inventory? My condolences. That's a horrible job. It's really hard. But Walmart's doing cleaning robots, inventory. We do this in my classes because I ask them, I say, how many people have used ChatGPT? I said, how many people have heard of ChatGPT? Everybody raises their hand. I said, how many people have actually used it? There's like 4 or 5 students out of 100. I said, you all need to get on there and do this. So, when I do this presentation, usually I pull up ChatGPT, and the fun one is I say, hey, ChatGPT, write me a Taylor Swift song about 13th century economic conditions in Europe. And it just goes, brrr, and it's better than every Taylor Swift song ever made. Better, not the same, better. And then we can have it write the music, everything. And since we have other economists, here's an econ one, the volatile macro market. It's a Taylor Swift song about economics. And it's pretty good. How long, do we need songwriters anymore? You can write about anything. So can it compose the music? Sure. Most music's derivative now anyways. So what is Taylor Swift gonna do? We can use deep fakes for bodies. You gotta go to burger flipping school, but then we have Flippy the robot for, I think it's $36,000. The break even's 18 months. It takes 3 fast food workers out. The break even's 18 months. Why would you use regular human workers? And do you know how you can get rid of the human workers? It's a safety issue. You're going to hear this phrase over and over and over again for the next decade. As you get more automation, more robotics, they're going to say it's a safety issue. Well, you can't have humans touching your food. It's a safety issue. The entire meat packing industry, they want to be 100% automated. COVID slowed them down. They had to shut down. Everybody was sick. You can't have sick people touching meat. So what do they say? Robotics, automation. And it makes sense. So you're going to see people using the S word, safety, and that's how you're going to get people to capitulate and give up their jobs. And it's funny when you watch these videos about Flippy and they fully automating these restaurants. They're like, yeah, workers don't have to use a fryer anymore. Not like people haven't been frying meat for thousands of years. I lived in Alabama. I assure you, people safely fry food all the time, easily. But safety is the word you're gonna hear over and over again. But where are people gonna end up? UBI. How many people would take UBI? $30,000 a year as long as you stay home and do nothing. And you can't procreate. And the student's like, why can't you procreate? I say, look, you have to give students in universities very basic economics lessons. I said, there's 3 types of people in this world. There's farmers, there's cooks, and there's people that eat food. And they're like, oh, the farmers produce a product, the cooks do a service, and the eaters consume. And they're like, okay, that makes sense. I said, so you either produce a product, provide a service, or you consume. I do all 3. My books, I write books, that's a product. Service, I teach for Doris as the dean. I provide her with a service at Weber State, and I consume. I spend lots of money, right? What happens when there's no jobs? Then these people start migrating from being cooks and farmers into eaters. And what happens when 75, 85, 95% of your economy is all eaters? All they do is consume. Consume, consume, consume. Then what happens, and we see this in the world, economies flip over. You get Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and all these economies, and we've seen it through history, they just turn over. When productivity drops to an unsustainable level, the economy turns over. And this is the thing we're gonna have to fight with over the next 10, 15 years, is how do we keep people productive? How do we limit these UBI? And what if they just people just keep procreating, producing more people? These are some of the challenges we're gonna have. What a lot of people don't understand is the impact of AI, how it's going to be used. These are just some sectors that AI is pushing. My wife's car, it's fun. I bought her a Mercedes GLS 450, really nice car. And I looked at all of the features on it. I knew one of the features was a self-driving car button. So I'm in the car, and I tease my kids relentlessly. I told them that I invent things. I go, watch this. I'm in the car, and I put on the steering wheel, I push the button, and I put my hands on my head like this, and I'm driving. And then I take my feet off, and the kids start screaming. I says, I'll ram this car into the cinder blocks. If you kids don't start behaving, they start screaming and yelling, and my wife's like, honey, quit teasing the kids. And then I tell them, this is when the car was new, and I tell them, I says, oh, it's a self-driving car. They're like, oh, that's awesome. What drives your self-driving car? An AI. What picks the next video you're gonna watch on YouTube or Instagram, whatever? AI. What does your chat bot for all your customer service? AI. What can you take an AI and stick it into a robot? Yeah, take over production. So these are just some of the companies that are pushing all of these sectors. What's going to do your analysis? AI. What's going to manage all your IoT devices? An AI. This is why Musk is developing an AI. Google has Bard. Microsoft has ChatGPT. Every major tech company is developing their own AI, and they know why. What's going to fly 6th gen fighters? An AI. In fact, the one that's carrying the human is full of AI, and then the drones that are next to the 6th gen fighters, they're all flown by AIs. So I wanted you to see how many industries are going to be impacted. It's not just 1 or 2 industries, it's a lot. This is a slide that humans don't like. You're a bioelectric survival machine, listening to the words coming out of my mouth, you do not like it. The silicon people in here, they love it, but not the bioelectrics. Look at the awesome stuff if we automate. It's not even a hard sell. Easy. Just to avoid sexual harassment lawsuits. Just that alone. I mean, to be able to get rid of all those HR complaints, it's awesome. When you start looking at automation, AI, robotics versus human labor, it's an easy sell. Because people say, well, how fast is automation and AI machine learning going to take over? A lot faster than you think. You underestimate the probability of events occurring if you don't want it to. Like your death. What are the chances you're going to die? 100% is the number. Everyone just sits there and goes, well, if I eat healthy. No, there's one probability of the outcome of your life. Death. The cause of all death is not gunshot wounds or traffic accidents. It's birth. Birth causes all death, right? Every single person listening to me is going to die. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You can kick and scream and exercise all you want, but you will die, right? But you underestimate the probability of your death because you don't want that to happen, right? What are the chances we're going to see a massive adoption of AI and robotics over the next 10, 15 years? It's huge. And you can't underestimate that probability just because you don't like it, because it feels uncomfortable to you. Because I just show people this and they're like, they're lining up. They're like, let's make this happen. I can go to online trading companies. They're like, here's $10 million, get rid of half my people. But there's some things that humans do really well. And in the next couple slides, I'll show you the things that you need to focus on so you can stay employable over the next 20 years. And humans are really good at some really, really good things. But as you'll see over here, employees just steal from their employers. They just do. I think theft is 5.5% of bottom line. Just theft. It's enormous. Bottom line, 5%. So it's big. Oh, and if you have questions, raise your hand. They have a mic. Feel free to, they said that there's going to be no Q&A because it's, but if you have a question, please feel free to raise your hand. Ask any questions. So the question that comes up most often is this, Boyle, my job might go away. And they're probably right. If it's repetitive, if it's rote, I mean, if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and there are discrete right and wrong answers, it's going to be automated. It will. But what can I do to guarantee? And I teach college students, and they say, what can I do to guarantee that I'm going to have a job? This is what you need to be good at. These right here. These are the things you need to focus on. Not a specific coding language, not a specific, should I get Apple or Mac? Honestly, it doesn't matter. But this is what you need to be good at. So you need to be good at critical thinking. If someone says something, do you just go, sounds right to me? No, you need to be really think really critically. Why is that person right? Why are they right? You need to understand the impact of things. So I ask students in my class, if the Fed raises interest rates, does that affect you? And some of them go, I don't know. They just shrug their shoulders. I said, you don't know if the Fed raises rates, if it's going to impact you or not? They're like, yeah, I don't know. What impact does a change here cause here? Systemic thinking, right? If you change your diet, is it going to affect your energy level? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. If you exercise every day for an hour, you get an hour worth of cardio in every day, you're going to have more energy? Yes, you will. This systemic thinking, machines are not good at. They're not good. Machines are not good at any of these. Experimentation, horrible, can't do it. Every time I walk into Smith's, I buy one food that I have never had. And I have eaten some nasty things. Riga gold sardines, barf. They were really hard to choke down. I was like, but I put things in my body because I have to be willing to experiment and try new things. Learn Python? Sure. I'll learn Python. Yeah, I'm willing to experiment. If you get set in your, it's like the old saying, old people only care about the past because they have no future, right? Young people only care about the future because they have no past. You need to stay flexible in your life and be willing to learn new things. When people get, I might lose my job, learn how to code. If you find that offensive, you're going to be on UBI. Be willing to try new things and be open. Not open to heroin. Heroin's a bad idea for anyone who's thinking about it. All illicit drugs are bad. Do not do them. But you need to be willing to try social media. Sounds good, I'll try it. Oh, it turns out it was mostly bad. Causes really bad problems psychologically, right? We've had 15 years since social media. I write books, chapters on it. I know about social media. In general, social media for you is a bad, psychologically, it's bad. Except for companies, it's awesome. You can reach a lot of customers. Social media for companies is really, really, really good. So be willing to experiment. Creativity, art classes. They're awesome. Artists have a safe job for a long time. Being truly creative is, machines can't do it. They can mimic, they can try to copy, but they're not good at it. They can't do it. This is the one most people want to know. Which jobs are going to go away? I said, okay, I'll tell you. So here is the top 200, and I give links here. Here's the top 200 jobs in Utah. You can go here, you can look up the jobs, and then you come to this website, will robots take my job? And you can look up the job. And then you come back over and you say, okay, registered nurses, about 10%. It's about 10% of the job that a nurse does can be automated. But if you're a fast food counter worker, 98% of those jobs are going away. I took my son and his friends, it was a youth group, we went bowling in West Valley. And I said, well, we want to order a pizza. And we were at the bowling in West Valley, and they said, well, just go up to the bowling thing. I said, where you enter your score? She goes, yeah, just go up and order a pizza. I said, what? And I went up, I punched in, I said, give me a pizza. And it said, your order will be right out. I was like, well, that's pretty slick. So we sit there, and I've got the video, and I show it in my classes. And you know who's bringing my pizza out? Robot. A robot has it loaded, and it brings it out from the kitchen. And this is in West Valley. West Valley. If you can have a robot bring you a pizza at the mall, I think it's the Valley Fair Mall in West Valley, the robots can go everywhere, right? It was shocking. I took the video, and my son's like, yeah, that's cool. Well, he just accepted it as normal. It was astounding. So if you want to go see which jobs, some jobs will be taken away, others will be replaced. Again, the best thing you can do is focus on the things I mentioned in the prior slide, and you will survive what's coming. And I'll show you in the next slide, we'll actually talk about one of the principles of seeing what's going to happen and why it's going to happen. But this is the question most economists, most politicians want to know is which jobs are going away, right? I have children that range from 6 years old to 14 years old. I have 4 offspring, right? I want them all to be productive, happy members of society, and I want them to procreate even more. So what am I teaching my kids? I know what's coming. I know the storm. Just like a weatherman predicts the weather, right? My job is tech, and I spend my day studying tech and what's going to come in the future. Weathermen only have value. I don't value if they tell me what's going on right now. That has no value to me. I can look out the window. But what I value weathermen for is they can predict what's going to happen. Same way with tech. I am the tech weather person, right? Telling you what's going on right now is of little value to you. It's predicting the future that has the value, right? It's the predictive capabilities. So so my son, he went to science fair, what does he do? He writes an AI to predict cancer. All of my kids, except the youngest, who is barely aware that who he even is. I mean, he's a good kid, but no Nobel Prize in his future. I'm just kidding. Maybe. We'll have to destroy this recording, or my son will cry himself to sleep on his huge pillow every night. All my kids learn Python, every single one of them. And I tell them, I says, we need to learn things. So my 2 daughters, they learn Python. My son writes this. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. They can do whatever, they can choose whatever they want for their science fair projects. But if they want help from me, I have a very select 5 minutes. So if you have kids, you tell them this, be best, B-E-S-T. My kids, I'll pay for all of their education, everything. Tuition, housing, food, I'll give them a car, I'll give them some walking around money, I'll give them anything. Biomed, engineering, science, technology, or even the trades. B-E-S-T-T. There's 2 T's, but I don't have my spell checker with me. B-E-S-T, biomed, engineering, science, technology, and the trades. Electricians and plumbers are safe. It's complex, hard to do, easy to do. Click. The last 5 minutes, you get this. This is an IQ chart. 100's in the middle. This is an average person. You get down below 70, this is a handicap range. My sister has Down syndrome. Anything below this is handicapped, right? You get up here, you get smart. I've never met a person with an IQ of 200. Never met them. You can see who the smartest people in the world are. Never met a person that smart, ever. The trick is, what if we have an AI right now that's an IQ of 70? right? But how fast is it going to get smarter? Do you know how fast it's getting smarter? It's doubling in its intelligence every 18 months. For those of you who are in finance, you'll understand this. How long does it take to double your money? 10%. I put a bunch of money in a portfolio, 10%, it takes about 7 years to double, right? Approximately. How long does it take this AI to double? 18 months. What happens when you get an AI with an IQ of 200? Can it drive a car? Can it work fast food? Can it do all of your factories? You just keep going down the list. What happens when we get an AI with an IQ of 200,000? How many jobs go away? It's the inevitability that gets you. And what this is called the Singularity, a book by Ray Kurzweil. We've known this for years. This is coming. It's called The Singularity if you want to buy the audio book. The year 2025 is when the singularity crosses. So when people say, what's the impact of AI going to be? It's processing power, the enormity of data, the methods, and the ability to integrate devices over time. So this is causing not little gains, but huge gains. Those people in here that understand compound interest know what I'm talking about. A growth curve is very different from a linear increase. So the AI is increasing at an exponential rate. That's why I can stand up here and tell the truth, because most people are unprepared and they don't understand it anyway. But this is what's coming in the future. And these are just some robots. People like to see shows. But I'm going to end right there. And we have she said I only get to ask 5 minutes. I'm just kidding. Ma'am, and then I'll get in the back.
I'm just curious, let's take the legal industry, for example. And you have a paralegal that works through, and then you have the expert legal professional on top, the expert attorney. And it's that expert attorney that actually is making the decisions on the case, because we know AI makes them stop. But how do you train that expert attorney over time when you're taking out the bottom end and less the small end?
Yes, so the question was, you have different variance levels. So you have like a paralegal, an attorney, high expertise, low expertise, and how might AI affect these for job replacement, right? We're seeing in the medical industry, IBM's Watson did this, trained doctors. The AIs are currently being used to give doctors advice, and the doctors are finding it's 90% of the time it's accurate. And we have, not to be rude, but it's a mentally handicapped AI. I mean, it has an IQ of like 70, but that's going to change in the future. So it's, will lawyers all be gone? The answer is not all, but most. The answer is most. And that's mean to say, hard to hear, but again, you will underestimate probabilities you don't want to have happen. You don't want to hear that. But the fact is, AIs are super smart. But only at knowledge, the lawyers that will exist will be people that are like experts in water rights. There's not enough training material to train an AI on experts on water rights. If you're an expert in certain types of corporate tax accounting, you're solid, you're good. But it's that top 1/1000% in every area that will be safe. But the low-level jobs, obliterated, they're totally gone.
Hey, how are you? Thank you. I had a question. Since Harvard invented the spinning jenny, people have said that this increase in productivity will put people out of jobs, which it does, but new jobs are always created. We wouldn't want a society where 90% of us are farmers like they did in 1000 BC, right? So we've seen this productivity every time something happens, jobs are now created, society gets better and more productive, we have more leisure time, and life expectancy and overall standard of living increases. Why will this one be different?
Correct. Everything you said was correct. We're going to have more leisure time. We're going to, most jobs will go away. Some new jobs will be created. And that's why I said the best jobs 10 years from now do not exist currently. That's correct. Did the internet cause job losses? Some jobs. Blockbuster's gone. But whole new industries have come up, right? The most valuable companies in Utah are service software as a service, right? This wouldn't exist without the internet. So why is this one different? Mostly due to the high IQ, the ability to apply an AI across many different platforms. It will kill many different jobs at the same time. And will it be bad? That's what the video at the beginning was. Musk saying, look, you're gonna have a good life. You'll live a hedonistic lifestyle. You're gonna have everything taken care of you for $30,000, and you'll get $30,000 a year in your pocket. But if you want more than 30K, you gotta go work. And we're seeing it, massive layoffs. The company I write books for, I was telling Elliot, the company I wrote books for, they did their third round of layoffs last week. They can't half their staff. Just watch them. The layoffs that have occurred just in the tech industry, or all industries in the last year, just watch them. And the hits are just gonna keep on coming. So why is this one different? It's mostly the ability to insert an AI and take the quantity of jobs. What jobs are gonna be left? The internet created a whole bunch of new jobs, but what new jobs are gonna be created? And if you look at a graph of the free time, the pleasure time that humans, the 1200s, almost no pleasure time. And now people are spending most of their time in pleasure, recreational activities. And it's gonna reach 100%. Yes, you're correct. One last question, and then we have to let Elliot come and talk about econ. Yeah.
I have a quick question. When you were introduced, they mentioned that you're an expert in cybersecurity.
Yes.
I work for the state of Utah Apex Accelerator program, and we help companies contract with the government. One of the big requirements is cybersecurity. How do you see AI affecting that, and how they combat it?
Sure. So AI has been used by companies, cybersecurity companies, for the last decade. I remember going out to Blue Coat. They were based in Draper. Their big selling point was AI. We're going to detect the threats before they even hit companies. So cybersecurity companies have adapted to this 100%. They're pulling in AI, and that's their main selling point. You're going to see AI as a buzzword for the next decade. Easily. Everyone's going to be, it's like blockchain was for the last, remember blockchain? For the last decade? I mean, I saw companies just throwing blockchain on their presentation slides. I was like, you guys don't even use blockchain. They're like, yeah, but it sells. It's like, yeah, but you don't even understand what blockchain is. Yeah, but we gotta have that keyword in there. The downside is criminals have adopted it. So in Utah, we have these big companies, they're software as a service companies, and you've seen the multi-billion-dollar IPOs. They provide services, and it's all cloud-based. Criminals are doing the exact same thing. Crime as a service, password cracking as a service, port scanning as a service, malware as a service. So I can give you an example I saw. So let's say I work for, where's Bank of Utah? Ha! Bank of Utah, never hire me. I would be a horrible employee. I go to work at the Bank of Utah, and you know what? I pull out my little USB drive and I stick it into the copy and I hit run. You know what I just put on there? Malware. And I don't even know, and I could be an idiot. I don't even know how it works. But the guys I got it from are going to give me 10% of everything they extort from Bank of Utah.
We don't allow USB drives.
Now, curse. Now I got to pick a new bank. They don't allow USB drives in. I got to pick a new bank. But morons like myself can plant, I can get hired, and the company trusts me, and I plant malware on their systems, and then I quit the very next day. I've worked a total of 1 day for my employer, and I quit. As soon as the malware goes on, I leave. They give me 10% of $500,000, $600,000 in ransom. And there have been many companies in Utah that have been hit with $500,000, $1 million in ransoms within the last year. What am I going to, are they going to shortchange me? The criminals? No, they want to pay me tons of money because am I just going to retire? No, I'm going to go to the Bank of Utah. I'm going to go to Zions Bank. I'm going to go to Bank of America. I'm going to hit all the banks. Then I'm going to hit the hospitals. And then I'm going to hit the city governments. I'm going to hit all of you, every single one of you. And I'm going to work for 1 day and I'm going to quit. Because I don't even have to know how malware works, because just like software as a service, I just put the malware on and I quit and I'm out of there. So this is, and AI can fully automate the entire operation for you. So this is the danger of AI, and it is terrifying. And we're seeing these fully automated attacks. That's why this is more important than this. Being a good person, I can teach you tech skills, but I can't teach you to be a good person. So when you're hiring a good person is more important than them having high levels of technical skill. You're an idiot. Like, oh, yeah, he's kind of questionable. He's got a shady past, but he's got really good tech skills. You're fired. Don't ever hire that person. How good of a quality of person they are. That's how you protect your organization. But AI is a serious threat, yes. The end. Elliot, you're up.